Welcome to another live episode of Halftime Adjustments. It's your host, State Arnell, my man G Witt, Mr. J. Lewis. Going on, gentlemen?
Going on, baby. Tighten up.
Tighten up, baby.
Tighten up. Fellas, man, the season is just flying by. Week 11? Man.
Yes.
Different set of challenges this week. Wanted to see if Willie Mayo can stack 2 games in a row. Continue to improve. The Vikings was bringing in a tough defense, man. 11th overall in the league, second against the run, 26th against the pass, and giving up just 30 in points, a little bit over 17 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
That just sounds like a recipe for trouble with the offense as way it's been playing the last few weeks. Will went 18 to 23 last week for 175, 2 touchdowns. Held the ball a little long last week. Wanted to see if he's gonna get better at that this week.
Mm-hmm.
Results: Vikes 23, Titans 13 in some controversy today. J. Lou, what you got for us today, man?
Yeah.
Give us a few things, man, from this game today.
So, I think first of all, this is just a side note. The weather has been phenomenal for these home games so far this year.
What?
Man, it was a nice, what is this, November, the middle of November? Right. And it was a nice spring day out there.
It was a springy day.
I'll say that. It was good. The weather was good. You talked about, would you see some improvement from Will? And, G Witt mentioned it. G Witt mentioned it probably about week 3 when we were talking about maybe benching Will Levis and letting him see it. And then unfortunately he got hurt and had to spend some time. I thought the past 2 weeks, if you get this Will Levis that you got last week and that you get today, it gives you hope on something to build on. Yeah. I will say, I thought, yes, he still held the ball too long, but I thought it was better than last week, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, he still missed some throws, but it wasn't as over the top as we've seen. And again, any quarterback is going to leave some throws out there. You give them that. So any of them going to leave some out there. But I thought overall, and again, it's so funny. Right before the last drive for the Titans, I said, until he throws this death pick interception, he actually would go 2 weeks in a row without a pick. And I'm not going to put the interception as much on him as I am Ridley. And the reason I say this about Ridley, if that was D-Hop or maybe even NWI, they know that they're getting double teamed. They probably turn into a DB and try to break it up. Ridley, if you notice, never tries to turn into a DB to break it up. So you take that away from him. He's missing 52 yards that he left out on the field. There was a touchdown that was called back. I thought he played decent. I thought 4 out of the 5 offensive linemen did decent and settled in against a team that blitzes. I mean, it's just at this point, the right tackle, I'm sure to be somebody new this week because that's the problem. You can't cut MPF. You put Prince in there, and you can tell he hasn't played any football in a while. I mean, that right tackle spot is hindering the offensive. And I thought today it hurt us even more in the run game. We didn't get the run game going as good. Right. From a defensive side, again, I thought they held up well. We've got to – I don't know how much of it I want to put on the new NFL or just a lack of tackling in practice, but I have never seen Sam Darnold look like the reincarnation of Michael Vick, early Brown Michael Vick out there with his elusiveness.
Man.
And we got hands on him and just couldn't bring him down. For the life of me. But again, this was a game that when you look at it, I mean, turnover battle was even 1-1, but this was a game that I thought the Titans quarterback, because that's what we've been struggling with, I thought he played well enough to get the win. And you're literally a couple plays away from this being, I mean, what are they, 8-2? Minnesota's 8-2, if I'm not mistaken. So you hung in there with a very good team like that. So yes, the loss is terrible, but there was some bright spots in there to take away if you're a Titans fan.
G Witt, man, what did it look like? I know you didn't. Have you watched it all yet? You had a chance?
I saw the second half. I didn't see all the first half.
All right. So what are your thoughts, man? What you saw in the second half?
Well, second half, I will say this. Until that last throw, I was really impressed with Levis, in all honesty. He took a sack, but I was looking at it like, okay, you took a sack, you didn't turn the ball over. You didn't try to do anything crazy. Sometimes you just got to accept that fact. And plus, I thought just a couple of bad reads on a couple of plays that he had. But other than that, I thought he threw the ball well. I thought he remained under control well, because there was one play, I forgot, I think when he hit Oliver.
Yeah.
Right before the end of the third quarter, he hit Oliver, and they showed a close-up of him on TV, and I was like, you need to calm him down real quick, because he had that wild look in his eyes. You could tell he was hyped up and everything. Yeah. And luckily, it was the end of the quarter, so he got to settle down. But and again, I thought he did pretty well defensively. I came away really impressed with the adjustments that they made, and I think from what I've seen of the first half highlights, really, I'm just gonna put it out there, they got robbed by the referee. I'm just gonna put it out there, because I saw a couple of plays. I'm like, really? Yeah. I couldn't believe that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that last score, I don't understand really the referee calling that as a legal touch, as much hand fighting that was going on, and the fact that really after 5 yards he let him go.
Yes. So
I was like, dude, I don't even know what you're looking at when you make that call. And Adam Archuleta was on the broadcast. He said the same thing. He's like, that one doesn't make any sense. I thought Big Jeff and Sweat clogged up the middle well. I thought in the second half, and I know they played the run, I thought extremely well. I thought a couple of times Sweat was trying to kill the running back, with a couple of tackles. And I like that. I was like, okay, Brownlee, I got to give him his props, man. I got to give him his props. Yeah. Justin Jefferson got his catches, but for the most part, he didn't just blow you away with a lot of stuff. And I thought Brownlee, when he lined up on a man-to-man and playing him press coverage, I thought he did a great job.
He did.
I thought he did a great job. So, and again, I thought Will did well. I thought I will agree that the offensive line, I would say like this, what we're seeing is happening on the right side that we had to deal with on the left side for the past 2 seasons, and the fact that the right tackle is so bad, it's starting to make the right guard make some mistakes as well. Mm-hmm. I thought Dylan, I thought overall he played good, but there was a couple of plays you could just see he was leaning more towards the outside as opposed to the inside, and guys got inside position on him. So NPF, man, like I said, you can't cut him now, but I just can't see him being on the roster after January at all.
Yes, I would say no, or a big no. Yeah. They should have just took his pass from him at halftime.
Yeah, they really should. He's just so bad off, man. It's like it was the one sack he gave up. I'm like, dude, really? I'm like, the tight ends did their job. They blocked them. They blocked the guy to the inside, which turns him towards you. Yep. And instead of you moving your feet, you reaching. I'm like, come on, man.
This how you know you bad. And I'm sure you saw it, Ed, because the Viking fan in front of me was talking about him. The penalty that they called him for false start, he still missed the man.
That's right. He did. Speaking of calls to go along with that, the pass interference they called on Brownlee Jr. against Jefferson. Now, Brownlee's looking at the ball. Jefferson's not even looking at the ball.
Nope.
And so I'm like, how is that pass interference when he's got his hands on Brownlee trying to prevent him getting a pick? But anyway, I mean, yeah, those are huge plays, but there was a lot of things, too, that we could have done better. Sacks, missed like 4 sacks, like you mentioned, Jay Lou. You already beat the right tackle to death. I thought the tempo of the offense wasn't great. We trying to come back. There, we needed to score and just about got a delay of game. I mean, got there twice. Yes. And like the receivers left the huddle. The line is still in the huddle. Like, what what's happening here? And so, things like that, man. Here's the thing, too, Jalen. I know you saw in the game that the containment on Sam Darnold was bad. The terrible. Time that he got out of the pocket, we had Arden Key going inside. We had Sebastian Day going inside. I'm like, you can't rush like that. You got to keep rush lane integrity to keep in the pocket, because I mean, you think about that, how many times they affected the quarterback and didn't make a play. Right? And so, and for those out there saying Big Jeff is not worth the money, man.
Football.
Yeah, because Big Jeff is balling. and it turned on a few weeks ago. If you noticed, so he is pushing people around. I mean, he had I think it was the guard on the left side of the offensive line. He had him 5-6 yards in the backfield one time.
So, what I text you during the game, I was like, he shouldn't be doing this, grown man. Like, he bull rushed him and threw the whole playoff.
He did, and the fact on that fumble. That he jumped in the pile and took the ball. So I was like, yeah. Man, thank y'all for joining us tonight. Let me get some of these comments, man. There's a lot of people here tonight. Darius, man, what's up? Dion, that's Dion. Mikey Jones, appreciate you sharing us with us, man. Carlton Newsom is here with us tonight, man. Will, Mikey Jones, Nathan. Thank y'all, man. We're gonna get those comments in as well. And like I said, man, the right tackle experiment. Prince, I thought he did okay at first. But then it's like you said, I think he just got some rust.
Yes.
And they started attacking him and they moved Dallas Turner. So that was an intriguing matchup. And I don't know if y'all noticed it, but Dallas Turner against J.C. Latham, former teammates at Alabama, right? And I mean, J.C. was handling him.
Eating his lunch.
Right. So much so that they flipped him over to the other side to see if he could do anything there. But yeah, so those are some of the things I picked up, man. Of course, the penalties, and we'll talk more about that in a minute, but 3 for the Vikings for 35, 13 for the Titans for 91 yards. 9 of those for 71 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And so, G Witt, man, let's dive into the offensive side of the football, man. And you kind of already hit on Will, but what else did you notice today about the offense, in your opinion? Like I said, right? Your opinion.
Yeah. I will say this: as far as I thought the receivers overall did a pretty good job. I thought really, like you said, the biggest problem is you want to say a lot of good things about the offense, which they had. I thought, like I said, the second half, I thought Will played good right up until that last throw. I thought he threw the ball well. It was a shame that he had a couple of good plays called back on him because of illegal formation. That one, I could see him getting frustrated behind that, in all honesty. But overall, I thought Ridley was catching the ball. The tight ends, I thought, did a good job catching the ball. Of course, NPF was being NPF. I mean, not NPF, NWI. Was being NWI,
All he does is catch touchdowns, baby.
Yeah, all he does is catch touchdowns. Every time we think he won't be here, he's something. It always works out for him. That's all I can say. It always works out for him. But I will say this: my most disappointing thing was just the fact. And again, the defense is good against the run, but we just could not get that running game going.
Yeah, and credit to the Vikings. We knew they were going to be a tough defense. They run a very aggressive style attacking defense, and this gave us problems across the front. I think, G Witt, I think the play calling was a little bit not to my liking at first. I think what you saw was a experienced DC take advantage of some things that Kelly wasn't adjusting to, and kind of hit him with some different looks maybe. And kind of had him off his game in that first half because up until that pass to NWI, there was only 93 yards of total offense. And so
I know.
That's for like 2.5 quarters almost. So,
I know.
And so you get the big strike to NWI for 98 yards, and now there's a game, right? And so, and I like I said, I just think it was just his inexperience and adjusting to what they were doing. Because like I said, man, they did some great things.
Yeah, they did.
Throwing a lot of cover zero and with 7-man blitz and dropping people, and just had a lot of folks confused, a lot of pressure up the middle. But like you said, Dylan having to take up the slack from the right tackle position kind of got him off guard. And it's again, and then it's after the touchdown pass, it's like Cali got confidence in Will. And start throwing the ball. Will got some confidence too. Now, don't get me wrong, and because that kind of opened up the game for him, like you said, and he started throwing the football. We gotta find the right tackle.
Well, man, and I will say this, and to Will's credit, especially in the second half, I thought he did great standing there in the face of the blitz.
He did.
I thought he did great. I thought he did good in getting rid of the ball before he got tackled. Like I said, I thought. Especially like you mentioned, after he got that big play, you really saw him getting rid of the ball a lot quicker, and into a lot of different areas, even in the face of D linemen and linebackers coming at him. I thought he got rid of the ball really well overall. And again, and to your point, I thought Cali called a good game, in the second half, especially after the big play that Will had. I thought he got in a good rhythm, started calling a good game. And again, I thought the offense was moving the ball. It was just one of those games, man. Like I said, we're just a team right now, and they kept saying it on the broadcast. The Titans are not a team that can overcome mistakes.
They can't. Yeah. There's too many deficits on the roster right now, and I like what you said, Dion. Is there's no hustle, right? Yeah. If even before the NWI touchdown play, there's no hustle to get to the football and change the tempo of the game, or change the makeup of the game. It's like we just want to stay doing that same thing. Again, the running game is important. You guys know that, but don't keep doing the same thing and not trying to pick up and do no huddle. Expecting the same results. But J-Lou, talk about the offense a little bit today, man.
Well, one thing that I thought we tried to do too much the first half, and part of it, I don't know how much of it was Will just keeping it. I like the option, but I think the option was too much. You finally saw, and I think they said
because it was the same formation.
It was the same formation every time. You had both Spears and Pollard in there, which I think Pollard went down with a hamstring. I mean, not Pollard, Spears.
No, concussion.
Concussion. Okay, I knew it went out. But I didn't care for that. But I will say, to your point about Will getting some confidence, them first couple of, he probably had like 6 rushes in the first quarter.
He did.
But it's like after he took that first one when he scrambled for 10 yards and took a hit, he's the type of quarterback that got to have contact. Because there was one time he scrambled and you could have stepped out of bounds and he still loaded his shoulder out of bounds.
I'm like, out of bounds.
Yes, but I'm like you. I think that the one thing I will continue to say that I think Will Levis needs to work on, and you saw that some today, is just really that intermediate short pass. It's he just, I don't think he really realizes his arm strength yet on some of those, because there was a few of those throws today that were just low and bad. Yeah, they were hot. But the deep ball, everything about it, every deep ball he threw today, even the one that was called back, the accuracy on those, you can't. He dropped them where the receiver can drop dime. So I'll give him that. I agree with Dion, and we're yelling it. You never see this team in any type of hurry up offense. And I don't know how much of that, to G-Wit's point when he was making his opening statement about, almost the penalties and all, the delay of games or whatnot, how much of that is like, how complicated and how long is your play calling? Right. You've got to shorten that up some. Just keep it simple for him.
Because he's getting to the line with plenty of time.
Yes, getting to the line with plenty of time. I thought that you had to overcompensate, and we realized that Burnett is not a blocking tight end. He was getting bull rushed all over the place today when he was trying to be in there. There was one blitz that I felt bad. Spears might have got his concussion on that play.
I think so too.
when he got ran over trying to pick up the blitz that was right at the A gap. But you like that one because you still saw Will sidestep and you saw his arm strength, because he just let that ball go on that one. But I just think that we've got to. Callahan's got to be consistent in his rhythm with play calling.
He does. I agree.
I liked it today. I'm be honest. I saw them in shotgun on 3rd and 10 from the 2-yard line. And in my head, I said, this is the surrender screen. I did not. When did you think the Titans were going to throw a bomb with NWI? He was the only receiver on the field, because I'm almost positive Calvin went in on that play. So he wasn't. I was like, this is the surrender screen or whatnot to set up for a punt. Yeah. And kudos for them for calling that play against an aggressive type defense who want to stay in cover 0 and bring the house.
Yeah, they caught him in that, because when they showed the replay on TV, Chig cutting off his route brought Stephon Gilmore up to him, which left NWI on the safety. And I thought the safety just took a bad angle on it, really.
And then it was Harrison. Was it Harrison? Was the next one back there?
Harrison was gonna catch it.
Yeah.
So what that coverage is called is palms, and so depending on the route combo, which it was perfect for Cal in that play call, because with Chig's route it brings up Gilmore, and now the safety's got to try to get over. So great call. Great call. I was like, let's give credit to the offensive line, man.
Yes, they held up because they protected. They protected.
And I was like, man, this gonna be a draw or something.
That's our history.
I think the defense was thinking the same thing.
I guarantee they were.
Thinking the same thing because really the outside lineman, defensive end for Minnesota went inside.
Went in. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that made it easier for him. So they just bunched him in there, and that's what gave Will that much time he needed to make that throw.
So Carlton says, based on Will's performance today, should we keep him or draft a QB? So Carlton, I'm gonna start first, and I'm gonna kick it over to these guys. I need to see some more. This is 2 games, right? We still got a lot of football left. I need to see some more. Now, you like what you've seen the last 2 weeks? You have. I mean, you give him credit, especially with some of the protection issues we've been having. If he continues to play like he played this whole second half, you stack the game from last week, you stack it with the second half this week, and if he continues to progress, I think we go Travis Hunter, the best player in the draft, right? I don't think we need a quarterback. You give him at least another season. Me and Jay Lou was talking about that at the game, so I think that's reasonable. But what you guys think? G with Jay Lou, what y'all think, man?
So I 1,000% agree with what you said. If you can get this same Will Levis that you got today and got yesterday, and to G Witt's point about calming him down, I'll tell you one play where I saw that some maturity level has come across where he hasn't been overhyped. Go back and look at the 98-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah.
He didn't celebrate. He didn't do an over-the-top celebration like he's used to doing. It was just calm. Let me come off the field like an NFL quarterback. Right. That's growth. If you can continue to see this same Levis, and right now you're in draft slot number 2 after today behind the Jaguars, I'm like you. I think you either go Travis Hunter, or if you stay in that 2 slot, and Travis Hunter goes to the Jags in case they choose and you don't want to go QB, I think you're in a prime position. To your point, you can give him 1 more year. You slide back no more than 5 slots. So you got to stay within the top 6, I believe. But you can trade back, gather some picks, and then either go offensive tackle or edge rusher and still continue to build that way. That's if, to your point, you continue to see the growth that you saw the past 2 weeks from him.
Yeah,
and I agree with both of you. I think the same thing. I've been saying this. You have to see improvement. Yeah. Towards the end of the season. And I will say, and I will say this. I definitely know that having to sit those games and watch Mason Rudolph run the offense has benefited him, to the fact that you now see that he's listening to what Callahan has been telling him. Yeah. Now, again, Callahan being a rookie play caller, that's what I was explaining to my wife earlier. I said, you got a rookie play caller who struggles to get into a rhythm, going against a defensive coordinator who's been calling plays lights out all season. And got more experience than necessary. And you saw that happening, and you saw Callie's inexperience, but you also saw in the second half his adjustments to what he was doing, and it actually made it a whole lot better. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think if you continue to see this Will Levis continue to see improvement, you don't. It gives you an opportunity to not have to worry about quarterback if you can continue to see the growth that you need. But I will say this: you got to see a continuous level of growth for the rest of the season. It can't be because really, as they said last week and again this week, you got to cut down on the sacks. Yes. And you got to get the ball out a lot quicker. I will give them credit. Somebody put up there, did we run the screens? They tried to run a couple of screens.
They did try to run a couple of screens.
And the passes got knocked down. And one play that I thought was really good, he was throwing to, I think, either Tony Pollard or Tajay Spears, and he threw the ball in the dirt.
Yep.
And I thought that was a good throw. And I was explaining, like I said, it was a good throw because you threw it in the dirt where nobody was going to get it. You had a man right there, so it wasn't going to be intentional grounding, and you didn't take the sack.
You didn't take the sack. Yep.
So that's the type of growth I want to see. He did it another time where he didn't. But again, I'm going to go with what Eddie texted out earlier. He's also got to start seeing the field better.
Yeah.
That's the one thing he's got to do. He's got to start seeing the field a lot better. Because he did leave some throws out there. There was one third down play. He definitely had NWI going across the middle. He didn't see him at all.
Yeah. And that's when he threw it to Ridley in triple coverage.
In triple
coverage. I mean, he was wide open.
Which I'm not knocking that play. I'm like, okay, you didn't see anybody. You saw Calvin Ridley. You threw it where nobody was going to get it.
No, I'm going to tell you that.
I want to knock that play.
that play. So that play is where he's got to continue to grow. Because I'll tell you, Calvin Ridley was his first and only read.
I know.
On that play. That's what you can tell. He stared him down. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't see
Because
anybody
you're right.
else.
NWI was a touchdown.
Did you see what NWI did? He was like,
yeah. He was like, yeah. He was looking around.
He was gonna get close to a touchdown if he didn't make it. He's gonna get close to a touchdown.
Yeah. To your point, Di. Yeah, he missed him. He missed some underneath throws. Like I said earlier, yeah, he left some stuff out there on the field today. But the progression is better. I still need to see more as we go along because it's ugly, but we can still win the division. That's what the funny part is. So,
which is so crazy.
You just never know what's gonna happen because you got to line up and play no matter who it is. Darius said he's pretty sure he saw one of those refs on House Party 3. Oh man, I liked also if we look at some of the stats, the target distribution today. You saw a lot of people getting involved. NWI really has 6. Tyler Boyd, we talked about that last week. Where has Tyler Boyd been? He makes a great play.
Great play.
I mean, he beats the guy to the inside and they call it back because an illegal formation. One of those illegal formations, Jay Lou, I want to see if you caught this. They were asking the official on that side if they were good.
If they were good.
They said he was on the line, he pointed off. He kept doing like this.
He kept doing thumbs up.
And he threw the flag. I'm like,
yes. Yes.
Yeah,
don't get me started on Cleek's crew.
Right. Levis today, 17-31, 295 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 5 sacks. Again, holding the ball a little bit too long at sometimes. Did have some right tackle issues. NPF, he did some NPF stuff. 6 of 15 for third down. You got to be better on third down. You got to be better on fourth down. 0 for 2 today. You got to be better on the ground game. I mean, 1.7 yards per carry. Good, kudos to the Vikings for that, man. 0 for 1 in the red zone. Got to get points when you get in the red zone. But like you guys said, no bonehead turnovers today. The last interception was just him trying to make a play. And like to your point, J. Lou, Calvin Ridley has got to make a effort to try to knock that ball down. NWI, excuse me. 2 for 117 today. Great day for him. Really 4 for 58. Tyler Boyd 2 for 34. Even Bryce Oliver got great. And we're gonna talk about that was a great catch. If he could have got the ball in front of him, that's a touchdown.
That's what I said. And I think because that was the one after the 51-yard touchdown. And I told the guy behind me, I said the only reason he didn't get it out there, that was one where he stood and he took a shot in the face and still got it out there though. Yeah.
He did. He took a shot.
That was the one he got hyped on and came off the field.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta calm him down.
Got to calm him down. Stupid. Right. And so, man, the offense, again, you like we said last week, and we've been saying, we like the play calling and how things are working. It's just the right tackle and the growth of the quarterback's got to continue to, and we won't be able to fix the right tackle right now, but that'll be something going forward. And so as we flip over to the defense side of the ball, because I think there were some things that we could be very optimistic about, J. Lou, as we talk about the defense, man. But go ahead, hit me up with the defense today.
Yeah. So again, as much as we talk about Callie being a rookie head coach, rookie play caller, you got to say the same thing about Denard, because you can see. So, for the life of me, I'm never going to understand why Harold Landry is in coverage, while Arden Key was in coverage twice today, where one time should have been an interception if he knew how to play coverage. Why big Tavondre Sweat dropped back in zone, and I think Big Jeff dropped back in zone.
So let me just jump in right there on that point with Big Jeff. So now I feel bad for Gibby because he got hurt.
Yes,
your ankle's not supposed to look like that
at all.
Your foot, but. Here's the thing, and we talked about this last week. We was texting back and forth this week. Where's Jerome Baker? You saw what TD said. Shout out to TD, man, for the response. Gibby was playing good. Well, today we saw that first touchdown. What happened, J. Lou?
Smoked.
He got smoked. They were running a zone blitz. They dropped Jeff Simmons in the middle. They brought Brownlee off the edge. They brought somebody on the other side. He was supposed to drop back underneath, and boy, he left Addison so wide open that he had the angle on the defense and they couldn't catch him. And I'm like, good Lord Almighty.
Speaking of angles, is good as Amani Hooker has been playing this year. He still continues to take some terrible angles when making tackling. Again, you can't say enough about the experience it's mighty fun. And again, I feel like you re-signed Baker Jr. And you've got you got Brownlee. You got Brownlee because he's a draft pick. Yep. We shouldn't have to go into this offseason talking about depth at cornerback at least, because with your two top dogs being out all season, you've gotten some good play from Brownlee Jr. And to your point, G, about Baker Jr. Like they held up again. To me, Justin Jefferson had the quietest 81 yards I've seen him have.
Yep.
All games. I thought they played well. I thought Mike Brown. I thought he's been decent.
His best game so far.
Is being a safe. Again, we're not going to talk about as we're supposed to do. Let the guy catch the touchdown. I thought that was a heck of a play. I mean, heck of a play on that one. But I thought overall, Denard. Maybe we could see a little bit more pressure now that you don't have Gibby in there. Maybe it was just I don't know why you wouldn't blitz it anyway. But we've got to figure out a way to stop and it's got to be our scheme at this point. Our scheme is not protecting the outsides. And to your point, Sam Darnold, every time you missed him when both ends were coming inside, there's nobody close to getting him. So we've got to figure that out and get a little bit more pressure. But again, I'll continue to say the one thing I can say about this defense when he talked about aggressiveness, look at the receivers we played and some of the QBs, decent ones. We have yet to see us lined up 8 to 10 yards off the ball. They're in your face. They're in your face, regardless of who the receiver is. So in your face. So I thought overall, like I said, tackling, especially from the D-line when they get in there on the quarterback, you got to be able to bring him down from that standpoint. But again, I think a lot of that from the play calling standpoint and the rhythm with that, he adjusted better because they could not run the ball when they were trying. But again, to hold that offense down like you did, that's a great offensive play call on the other side of the field. From that standpoint, I thought they did overall well with some room to grow on.
Two things, G. I'll let you jump in. Let me get this question from Dion. He did ask it there. He said, should Cali let Levis do a little bit more gunslinging going forward? I think so.
Yes.
I think so.
I think so.
Look at G. We're not comfortable. Look at his face.
So I think that's when you see. You talk about good question, Dion, but you talk about building confidence in your quarterback. What you saw. That's where he's at his best. I'm not saying you go out there like there's no reason you shouldn't have 5 pop shots a game. 5 deep shots a game is more than enough to shouldn't be able to hurt your offense. I also think you saw it on Minnesota side, and I wish Callahan would do this a little bit more with Calvin Ridley. First play of the game was a little pop screen or a little 3-yard out to their top dog, right receiver Jefferson. You got him going. I think we've got to see them give Levis some of those shots to take it deep to get his confidence going, but give some of those to Ridley as well. Some of those quick routes to just get him involved in the game.
Now, the other thing I was going to say to the mixed sacks, and so just think about it this way for a second. And I know we had a lot of opportunities. Again, the containment was bad. Now, as far as when Jeff and Sweat missed them, the way the game was being called, I think it affected the way they were trying to tackle them. Because look how they were trying to tackle them. Up high. They weren't trying to get anything cheap, you know, because the way the game was being called, man, I'm telling you, I could have seen a rough on the passer when they were just making a tackle. But go ahead, G. We'll talk about the defense today, man.
Well, again, all I saw was the second half. So, for the most part, you're talking about keeping an offense down. They only scored one time. And so I defensively, again, I didn't see the first half, so I don't know how they called it that one. I thought in the second half, I thought the pass rush was a lot better as far as getting to Donald and everything. Again, I go along with you guys. The corners, like I said earlier, I thought that Brownlee playing press coverage on Justin Jefferson was just excellent. I thought you could tell he's taking a lot from Snead, man. He's all on him. He's when he comes off the line, he's got his hands on him and everything. So again, I think that had a lot to do with to your point, J. Lou, of a quiet 81 yards for Justin Jefferson. Because right. I mean, Brownlee played him well. I thought that the other guy, I thought Baker did a good job and everything. Again, like I said, my only thing is that we just can't make mistakes. That's all. I mean, and again, some of those mistakes, hey, it's on the referees. I would go down saying they made bad calls, but you still have to get past that. And I think that when we get I've seen this before. You get your stop, but then you get a penalty and they get another drive, and now they get to go straight down the field. So that's the thing they got on the defensive side. They have got to show up in the fact that you can get over a mistake or a bad call and come back and still do a 3 and out and get the people out of there.
The when they have those things, when adversity happens, I mean, it really just cripples this team. And I think as a youth, and that goes along with G, which says they just don't know how to win right now. They don't know how to adjust in the game right now. That in-game experience from that adversity hasn't hit them yet. Because when you're a championship football team, you've got to be able to handle adversity. And you see it, they don't do it that well. I mean, coaches and all. And so the Chiefs lost first game. But finally did lose. Yeah, the corners are balling, Joe. We agree with you, man. I love Baker Jr., David Baker Jr. That was a great find.
That was a great find
by Rand. A guy that's strictly a special teams guy, especially for him to come in. And he's a tall corner, right? And
aggressive. That's what we can say about these corners.
I know it.
That's what I was saying. I like Brownlee, man. He has impressed me tremendously.
Yes.
With his aggressive play and playing, because I saw him one time line up and he was like about 5 yards off. And from then on, I saw him right in front of the guy, pressing him up and everything. So I'm like, man, you gotta love this.
So remember though, when we were talking about the draft earlier. 39. Yeah, that's right. And I was saying I love Brownlee. He's a zone guy. So you got to give credit to the coaches.
Yeah.
He was an aggressive zone guy. So now he's playing man coverage and he's excelling at man coverage and doing well at it for a rookie. And so we got the coaches, man. We got the coaches. Got to get the right tackle, and we might have a quarterback. We'll see. We'll see how it goes the rest of the season. I'm not ready to crown him yet, like Dennis Green said. Go ahead, crown. Run D was stellar. Big Sweat, man. Look, when running backs run at the Big Sweat, they ain't gonna go back, and they gonna go back every time.
Big Sweat landed all 370 pounds on Aaron Jones.
Yes.
And Aaron Jones wobbled off the field like he was in the protocol.
He did.
Big Sweat, man. Hey. And him and Jeff playing the way they playing right now. And if we could just get the edges.
The edge.
Oh my gosh. They read a twist today, man. That Darnold got lucky.
Yes.
He even went off the field limping one time.
Yes, he did. After
that strip sack.
Yep, strip sack.
That they say he was down on. That was a really close play, I would say.
Well, I always say that, and it surprised me, really. I thought that the ball came, he didn't really have control of it fully when that ball came loose. But I saw why they changed it. And I knew they were going to do it. I mean, it was just that type of day.
The ball was loose and his knee wasn't even down. It's like he had that space. Yeah. But anyway, like I said, bad calls, but that's not the main reason why we got beat. My opinion.
No, it's not. But it didn't help.
So Jay Lou, and I text Jay Lou during the game as we roll over the special teams. I said, in a day where Stoney is shanking punts, it's gonna be a long day. But we got a gunner, and did you see who it is? Did y'all know who the gunner is?
Bryce Oliver.
I was
waiting to talk about that.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, talk about it.
Finally put some speed on there. And outside of the shank, which Kenny, my brother, he was sitting beside me. He was screaming. If you look at that first punt, they had the right side overloaded. And I'm pretty certain that it went PTSD with Stonehouse. He just wanted to get it off and shank it. After that, I thought he settled down.
He did.
I still don't like the momentum swings after a touchdown, because I think after we scored a touchdown, we kicked it off and they got the ball to about the 37, 38-yard line on their return. It always kills us. I'll tell you this, who played his best game. Jackson as a punt returner.
Yes.
He did.
Jackson brought back, I was telling the guy that sit in front of him has been there forever. I told him Jackson was bringing back signs of Pac-Man, because Pac-Man had no fear back there. He's not fair catching nothing. And that was twice that Jackson caught the ball. I'm like, okay, you should let that go. But he made good plays on him. So, and again, I think earlier in the season you saw him kind of hesitating and tiptoeing on punt return. He was hitting them and going today. But I thought overall, to your point, that was the first thing I called out, Ed, was Bryce Oliver as a gunner. You might have found something there because he's got some speed and he was getting down. And I mean, really outside of the, like I said, the long kick return, you did and the bad punt, you did a great job as far as containing on special teams today. So I'll give Colt a pass a little bit this week.
Yeah, Joe Donald did it like a magician. He was escaping that pocket, escaping that pressure, man. That was crazy. Deion said Stonehouse just trying to make sure he didn't end up with a wheelchair.
I know that's right.
Man, because that, like you said, and I could see it when they lined up that overload to the left.
Overload, man.
But did you see how James Williams lined up though? He left a big space, and I was like,
yes,
I would have had PTSD too if I saw that. If I saw that. G-Wit, man, anything about the special teams today, man, that caught your eye?
Well, again, in the second half, I thought it was good, except for that after they scored a touchdown. Like you said, Jay Lou, they gave him the long run.
Yeah.
To gave him up to the 37, which it shouldn't have happened, but I saw it happen when I saw the whole.
There was a mishold.
I was like, man. But overall, I thought Stonehouse did a good job. Again, I'm with you on Jackson. Those two running backs he had, that first one, he obviously sucked at them, man, because he thought he put up a fair catch, and he caught the ball and took off. And I was like, and then he get the penalty on top of it. And so I thought he did good. And then on the second one after that, I thought he did a great job of catching the ball and running it down. And also the short punt, he did a good job of just because you could hear him on TV yelling to get away from the ball. So. Yeah, I think you've settled down on him as far as a punt return and a kick return is concerned. Again, I thought Stonehouse did a pretty good job in the second half because that's all I saw. Because I know one time they did get in close on him, and I saw him kick it real quick. But still, he got good distance on it and everything. So I thought he did pretty good. And of course, Folk was Folk. So overall, like you said, I appreciate the Gunners, man. We finally got somebody that can get down the field.
Yes.
Instead of giving the guy 15 yards before he come across a Titans jersey.
Right.
So overall, I thought special teams actually, to your point, J. Lou, Colt has done some things to improve.
Yes.
He has, and he's changed some folks up, right? And the guy, what's his name? They signed him, Huntley. They signed last week. They play special teams. You've seen him out there at the other gunner. So there is now speed at the gunner, and that helps. And not to mention too today that you saw Stoney with a little bit of hang time.
You did
on a couple of those punts today.
You did,
which is a whole lot better. So that's good. They're working. They're trying to get better. And like man, and that's what makes it so hard for this team, man. Because you see the improvements in these little areas, right? These little pockets. Every week you see something different. You see something better. They just can't put it all together at one time to pull out a victory. And it's so frustrating too, man. Golly. It's so frustrating. But yeah, great. We'll see what Will does. Another tough match, another hardcore defense this week, man. You got Danielle Hunter, you got Danico.
This is the Danico revenge game.
Man. I didn't even know they signed Devin White to play inside linebacker.
Oh, they signed Devin White?
Yes. He played last week against the Lions.
Yep.
And I'm like, uh-oh. So now we do know that you can get to Stroud. We do know that.
Yeah,
we do know that
is what you thought they were.
Yeah, and so there's an opportunity there. It's gonna be tough on the road, G-Wit at Houston, the perennial favorite to win the conference.
They're gonna.
Yeah, I mean, they look like it right now.
They're gonna win the division. They ain't no advance.
There's nobody else in there that's gonna challenge them unless somebody gets hot.
No.
So, but what's your thoughts, man, on the game next week, the Houston Texans?
Well, I would say this is again, we're going to see. It's imperative for us to stop the run because really the Texans now are a team. As good as Stroud is, and he's good.
Joe
but
Mixon.
As far as how Joe Mixon goes, is how the Texans go on offense. They're missing. Your boy Diggs is out for the season, I know, and
Nico Collins,
Nico just got back, right?
He's got back. I think they activated him for. They play tomorrow night, I believe.
Tomorrow night against
tomorrow night's game. Yeah,
yeah. So I will say I'm interested to see how Brownlee goes up against Nico Collins if he's playing and everything, because Nico's a good receiver.
Baker too. I say even Baker too. What he'll do against Nico and Tank Dell.
But offensively, man, it's going to be interesting because if we don't get that right tackle short up, Will Anderson's going to have a field day because he's coming from that side. D'Amico Ryans is not going to play around with trying to attack Latham. He's going to be like, best rushers go to the left on their right side and go at it.
Yeah,
and that's going to be the key. So I'm waiting to, you got to wait and see who they're going to start at right tackle. Was the other right tackle, was he still hurt with the hamstring?
Watson was down.
I know Watson with his back, but what about
Ojoku?
Big Ojoku?
Yeah,
he must have been down too because I didn't see him play today.
No, it was just Prince and NPF. Yeah, Prince and NPF played today.
Yeah, he was inactive. Really, I didn't think Prince did that bad.
I didn't either.
I thought, minus the illegal formation issues, I thought overall he did pretty good. I would say definitely if Ojoku is back, you let him and Prince go at it if Watson's not available, and roll the dice with that one. Because even Callie said, "Look, man," they asked him the day after the game. He said, "We're doing everything we can. Yep. We're trying everything we can to improve, and it's just not working. And that's bad. That's bad when your coach gets in a press conference and just flat out say, everything we're trying just isn't working. And the guy who's been there the longest is the worst.
Is soft. And I don't want to call NFL players soft, but he's soft.
Well, he's soft, and his technique is so bad. It's pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, he ends up on all fours a lot.
I don't understand. And he's got one of the best offensive line coaches in the league.
Yes,
but that doesn't make any sense.
He's a guy that his problem is he don't move his feet.
Yeah. But they keep trotting him out there too.
And that's what surprised me today. I'm like, man, it's gonna be Sack City today.
Oh man, they had 5. They could have had more. They probably should have had more if he didn't get rid of the ball.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's gonna be Sack City today. But I don't. They tried him out there because really they got no choice.
Yeah,
they got no choice.
Yeah, I agree, Dion. They were nitpicking on the illegal formation because you don't see it. If you look at the still shot of those calls, you don't see a lineman. You don't.
Well, I couldn't. What I couldn't understand, and I was trying to figure it out. And is it that they can't be no further back than the center's waistline or something like that?
They have to break They have to break the waist of the center. They have to break the waist.
In that regard, okay. But my whole thing is this: if you called it on him, you had to call it on Radens too, because they were lined up virtually side by side.
Yeah.
But they were all breaking his waist. So I don't know. I don't know what he was saying. I don't know what they saw. I really don't.
I don't know what they saw because you saw it on the left side. He was even with J.C. Latham. So I don't know what that guy was looking at.
I don't know.
And like you said, to your point, they in the game, they asked him, "Are we good? Are we good?" He says, "You're good." And then as soon as the player snapped, you throw a flag.
Yeah.
I mean, even on that play, the line, everybody was breaking the waist of Brunskill. So I don't know, man. I'd be curious to see if this crew gets playoff games. I mean, I don't know. Because they have to be held accountable for what they put out there today. That was not good at all.
Yeah.
And I don't talk about officials because I got some good friends that are. But today, woo.
Yeah.
I mean, even Gene Steratore on the call, they said was going off on that first one that was the fourth down call in the end zone. He was he wished that replay assistants could have buzzed in and helped with that because it was a horrible.
What about the horse collar?
The horse collar was terrible, but the one in the end zone when they did the pool reporter afterwards, they claimed that he launched. He never left his feet.
No,
He never left his
actually-
And they said chest and neck.
Yep,
he was in his chest with his shoulder.
with his shoulder.
It's like, where they hit the neck at?
I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
what?
was-
He didn't even hit him in the neck.
It was a perfect hit.
So again, that's gonna be one of those where you're gonna see the NFL officiating report come out. We missed the call. We made a bad call.
It's gonna be more than one.
Now,
It's gonna be more than one.
yeah, it's gonna be more than one. Because, like I said, I still say that illegal contact on Brownlee was bogus, man. I don't know what that guy was seeing.
14-point swing.
14.
They
Yeah,
get a
14 point
touchdown.
swing.
Ridley scores. They call that back. That's a 14-point swing.
Yep.
That game could have been won today. But man, yeah.
Cali
Cali was hot.
Point, line and everything, but
Cali was hot.
oh yeah,
Hot. I don't blame him. What is it, 15 yards from the inch line?
But guess
Get yours.
They didn't even penalize him though. They didn't even mark it off, did they? Or they gave him because
It
the
was like
field goal
a
was
half-
good.
It was the fourth down. They scored a touchdown on it.
They scored a touchdown.
It went to they penalized him before they ran the fourth down play.
Okay.
Yeah, because it went from the half yard line to the half yard line.
All right. That was worth it. That was worth
it. It was worth it. Yeah.
He was supposed to get that penalty though.
Yes.
He's supposed to get that penalty. He's
Yeah,
supposed to get that penalty, and when they look at the film, they're gonna be like, he was justified.
Yeah, and Deion, man, the guy saying that the catch was inbounds by Addison, he was way out of bounds. I'm
Yes,
like, what?
way out of bounds.
It's that same guy that was bumping into Cali.
Overturned?
Yeah, that was the one that Cali, that same ref that was in Cali's face, that was in Big Jeff's face. I was like, what's wrong with this guy? They don't do that.
Yeah, that ref was
something was
feeling
wrong
himself
there.
today.
You don't do that. You don't get in. You don't do that. You just don't do that, man. But yeah, Houston Texans on the road, another division game. Man, everybody got a chance. You got a punch us. Look, what Mike Tyson say, his favorite slide was, everybody got a good player until they get punched in the mouth. So who gonna get punched in the mouth first?
It'll be good to see. Like I said, really, what you're looking for in every game, you just want to see improvement across the board.
So if they play that second half, if they start out that way and play that whole game like that, they'll beat Houston.
They sure will.
They'll beat Houston.
They have a good shot.
They'll beat Houston.
They'll have a good shot.
Yeah.
That's what I say. That's what I say. Look, I'm telling you, you saw some vulnerabilities last week against Detroit. And I'm not saying our team is like a Detroit.
Nah.
But their defensive line, we got one just like them.
Mm-hmm.
If not as bad, if it's not better.
We got a solid defense. Again, like I tell you, it's just going to be, can you see improvement on the offensive side of the ball?
And Jay Lou's boy, McQuarrie, again, did you hear anything about Rock?
He had one play that he got almost shook, but recovered to make the tackle. That was it. Other than that, he was where he was supposed to be.
So that's what I'm saying. Now, I know Snead is out, but we can still match up with the Texans on the edge.
Yes.
We can.
Yeah.
We can. The issue is, can we block them? That's the issue.
We're going to have to. I worry about the runs to the outside. You haven't seen no teams the last couple of weeks try to challenge our weak spot is running outside. Every idiot wants to keep running it to Sweat and Big Jeff. The Mixon is the type of running back that can do great bouncing it to the outside. So that's what I want to watch, because we know that's how Achilles heel. We cannot stop those outside runs, and then they're going to have to. Today, they're going to have to contain and work on bringing Stroud down, because you can't give him a second, third look when you hit him and he misses.
Yes, you can't let him get out of the pocket like they did today.
No,
you won't have a chance.
But it'll be interesting to see the linebacker play, since Baker's going to be out there.
He gets a full week knowing he's the one.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was rust or whatever. He was a little bit slow in some instances today, but he hadn't been playing.
At this point, though, that means you either got to practice Cedric Gray or Williamson as your backup, because now you're only down to Murray and Baker, just them two. So that's a good opportunity. You're gonna see them rookies get some linebacker work here very soon.
You probably see Gray called up unless they go out and find a tackle they're gonna bring in and call him up.
I don't know, but it's gonna be one of them things. It's this whole situation, and I would say this: at least you see them, as opposed to what we saw the last 2 years. At least you see them acknowledge the problem and try to fix it.
Instead of like somebody else we know.
Instead of just saying that.
Well, we saw some good things. No, you didn't.
You ain't saw nothing. He has repeatedly said the right tackle is an issue.
Yeah.
That's one thing you can say about Cali, man. He's straightforward.
Yeah, straightforward.
He don't hold nothing back. He'll let you know exactly what's going on. Like, that was my bad. It was bad play call. Or we got to get better at the quarterback position, or the right tackle. It's just not working. So,
it's not working.
So
like I said, I thought they did a good job in the second half of Justin. I thought Will got the ball out a lot better than what I saw, what little bit I saw in the first half. So still can't run a 2-minute offense though.
No, we can't.
I don't get, like you said, J. Lou. If the play call is 10 words or 10 to 15 words, you need 2 words.
Like
you need 2 words.
Yes.
You need some of those signs they have in college that they hold up and get all the pictures on.
Because man,
I mean something.
I don't know. I don't know if it's done purposely to make him breathe better or whatever. But I agree with you because like I was watching today, even in the second half, I'm like, dude, you getting out the huddle with like 16 seconds, and you're running it all the way down to 2 and 1.
And the headset cuts off at what
20,
18,
15
like,
somewhere now.
So
yeah.
What are you doing? Because he's not talking to you anymore.
Exactly.
What's going on? But thank y'all again for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Eddie Arnell, G with J. Lou.
Yes,
Houston Texans on the road, another division game for the Titans, number 2 of the season. That's still got a lot of football left.
Yeah, man.
We'll see. Everybody got a puncher's chance.
Hey,
anybody can hit a home run when they get up to the plate and bat. I'm telling you, if they play the second half today, I'm just gonna say it's gonna be a good game.
If you see that team that came out in the second half play for the rest of the season, you got a chance in some games.
You got the Jags twice.
You got the
There's
Jags
a chance at a game.
You got the Colts again.
As a Titan fan, you're not the Jaguars and you're not the Jets. The Jets got a Super Bowl team. They got beat today. They gonna have to blow that up. And the Jaguars, I don't even know what that hot mess is down there.
Dumpster fire.
Doug Peterson is probably gone after the season, man.
No. After the season, after midnight tonight, he's probably gone.
What was the final score in that game? Last time I saw it was 52-6.
That was the final.
That was the final score. They put up 50 on them too. Like they put up 50 on us.
Yeah, but at least we scored twice, man.
Yes.
Come on.
Oh yeah.
We were semi-competitive.
We was giving them the ball.
We
gave them some touchdowns.
Yeah,
right.
we gave them special team touchdowns.
So Dion said they need to line up the plays like a fast food menu. Run K1, K5. Yeah, man, make it short. Make it short. Like number 2 on your wristband or whatever you gotta do.
Yeah. Pull that Archie Cooler, Mississippi Valley State back in the 80s when he had Jerry Rice, man. He had them line up 4 receivers back to back and call out 3, and they just go.
Yeah, do something, man, because it's got to be better, got to be faster. Thank y'all again, man, for supporting the show, the comments, the questions, man. Join us next week. We'll recap and chop up the Houston Texans and the Titans game and see if our quarterback is going to play and get better. And if that's the case, then that's going to change the whole outlook of the draft. So,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Hey down there, G Witt, J. Lou,
yes, sir.
Halftime Adjustments. Appreciate y'all, man. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.